everybody. Thank you for being here. So my topic today was a tax increase for smokers. Before I start, basically I grew up with family members that smoke. My mom, my grandpa, my uncle, my mom's brother. I've been around it. I didn't really think it was anything, I didn't think it was a problem. I didn't think it was a big deal when I was younger. When I was in 4th grade, my papa moved in because he couldn't take care of himself. He had COPD, which is which I'll finish in the slides, but he couldn't breathe all the time. He always had asthma attacks. I didn't know it was from smoking, but I had known he was smoking since he was 13 years old. So after he passed away, I had then kind of got the idea that smoking isn't good. So I kind of bothered my mom for a really long time. I bothered her to the point where I just hide little stop smoking stuff in the laundry room where she worked, or just anywhere I could, in her bedroom. Just I bothered the crap out of her for it. So, and then I found out about a tax increase for smokers. Most states are doing it. Our state doesn't do that yet, but it's pretty interesting. So, why smokers? 16 million Americans live with a disease caused by smoking. And every person that dies from smoking, 30 people live with a serious smoking-related illness. 480,000 deaths per year in the U.S., including 42,000 deaths from secondhand smoke. In Hawaii, about 1,400 people die from it every year. Smokers tend to die 10 years earlier than non-smokers. Smoking is the #1 leading cause of preventable death in the U.S. This is 1 in 5 deaths annually are caused by smoking, or 1,300 deaths per day in another sense. So what does it cause? What is the main? So I just thought it caused lung cancer, but I was really, really wrong. It can cause blindness, impaired sense of smell, taste, cancer in the lips and mouth, throat cancer, larynx, pharynx, esophageal, tracheal, lung, bronchus, and cervical, gastric, colon, and pancreatic cancer. It also causes asthma. My sister had it. Every time my mom would smoke, my sister would have asthma attacks. And that kind of then my sister used an inhaler and all that. It also can cause reduced fertility, early menopause, infertility, heart disease. It also can cause diabetes, tuberculosis, and a few others. It's a long list. So what's the cost? Yeah. So the U.S. spends about $300 billion annually. So this chart over here was done from 2002 to 2012. At that moment, it was $33 billion. That could have gone transportation, public safety, education, and rural development. But instead, now it's till 2016. We've spent almost $300 billion on just smoking-related medical care, and 156 billion in that 300 was from lost productivity due to premature deaths and secondhand smoke. So currently, states get a 25.8 million settlement from tobacco companies. So those tobacco companies give that money for prevention and cessation programs. So you see those ads against smoking, or you see those statewide programs like Hawaii Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line. That's kind of from that, but only 2% of that money goes to the programs. The rest can go to transportation, public safety, education. The states are supposed to spend that much on it, but instead they spend the only state that is CDC recommended is North Dakota. That's the only state that is supposed to spend what they're spending. In Hawaii, we spend about $526 million just on tobacco-related health care. So why tax smokers? Many states are already doing it. For example, Texas businesses in 2011 started doing it. They started charging smokers an additional $50 per person in that family. So say if you didn't smoke but your daughter did, then they would charge an extra $50 just for that tax. So they believe that in a year they'd get $500,000 for in Medicare costs that they can cover for the tobacco-related illnesses. 20% of workforce are smokers. That's just in the U.S. Smokers already pay more for life insurance since the 80s. So people thought, why not? Let's do it for healthcare. So since they do charge a higher premium, they do warn the smokers that they can get into a program that stops them from smoking, and then they can pay the non-smoker premium. So, but if the smoker doesn't, and doesn't really want to do that, then they have to pay that $50 additional per thing. So another example is Obamacare. They had more information too. So just this year, they're charging up to 50% more for smoker status. So basically, if you're paying $50 as a non-smoker, you're going to pay $100 as a smoker. So any plans bought after September 23rd, I learned, have an opportunity to join a cessation program or smoking cessation drugs at no cost, except for non-generic, like Chantix, Nicorette. They're generic kind they can get for free. So the programs include therapy, individual, group, and phone counseling. Smoking cessation drugs include lozenges, inhalers, gum like Nicorette, and drugs like Wellbutrin and Chantix. So if a smoker decides to join this year, they can opt out by joining a program that stops them from smoking, and that makes them not pay the higher premiums, makes them stay in that range of a non-smoker. So what's the problem with taxing smokers? I did notice, and when I was doing my research, I noticed that they didn't really talk about charging taxes on people who suffer from alcoholism or people who are addicted to drugs. Because why just tax smokers? Why not everyone else? Anything else that can be preventable. So also it scares away smokers. If I was a smoker and I didn't want to quit, it would make me not want to pick health insurance, and that kind of scares a lot of people, because what if they can't get access to health care because they're just a smoker, and that's in a sense not fair. But the benefits are is it can help relieve medical care costs in the U.S. It can help spending on education, fixing our roads, help kind of calm it down. Smokers can get the resources they need to quit without having to pay for the care and have to pay a tax if they are in the program. So basically, they can get the resources they need without, and then like in a year or so after they're done with the program, they don't have to pay a smoker's tax anymore once they've quit. They can actually pay for a non-smoker. Already 70% want to quit. So like my mom, she wants to quit, and then she ends up quitting, and then she starts back again. So what also they're looking for is programs are trying to figure out a long process to keep them off smoking, because 6 to 12 weeks is not working. And also paying money, because you're already paying more for cigarettes here. They're already banning a lot of places from cigarettes, so this can help get the push they need to kind of quit completely. So I did also some extra research. I did programs on the Big Island. So the Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line, Bay Clinic Tobacco Treatment Program, Hamakua Kahala Health Tobacco Cessation Program, and then the super long one, Big Island Substance Abuse Council Tobacco and Cessation Programs. These actually you guys can call or go online and enroll and find out more information. And if you guys have any questions, all right, well, thank you for listening, and have a great day.